Привет, с вами Надежда, и сегодня мы продолжаем проходить игру под названием Genshin Impact. Ну что ж, поехали. Мы все еще продолжаем задание легенд.
What exactly is... Why did we come here? Paimon's got a bad feeling about this. Not that Paimon's scared or anything, just, concerned for your safety. It's just that this is how lots of scary stories go. You're in an empty place, in the middle of nowhere, there's barely any light, and then just when you least expect it, a stranger comes out of... Quick, do something! Paimon's intuition says that anyone we run into here is going to be far from normal. If he gets us, he's gonna eat Paimon for sure.
Who are you? Traveler? Are you from one of the other nations? No, I've never seen your kind of attire before. Could it be that you traveled from the other side? I'm just here for a funeral. I don't mean to offend. No matter who you are, there's no need for any ill will between us.
Whew. Seems he's just your average scaredy cat. He looks more afraid than Paimon. Yep. You should leave the introductions to Paimon. Don't be afraid. We come in peace.
Gods protect me!
No! Stop freaking out and stand still. Relax.
Relax. Yes, whatever you say. Please stay your hand. Don't come any closer. I mean you no harm. Don't touch me.
Hey! Paimon already said nothing's gonna happen. Was it something Paimon said? Let's go after him. He might do something stupid.
Director, there's a ghost after me.
Oh? Don't get too excited. These are clients, not ghosts. Exactly! We said we're not ghosts. Why won't you calm down and let us explain?
Ну и не клиенты тоже.
Clients doesn't seem quite right either. Yeah, forgive me. This is one of our new undertakers, Meng. It's his first time working a funeral, so of course he's afraid of his own shadow. Funeral. Oh! The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor! Zhang Li is a consultant there. They deal with this stuff a lot, right? Oh, you know Zhang Li? Well, that saves me a lot of explaining. I'm Hu Tao, the current director of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, responsible for, trifling matters having to do with immortality. A satisfying trade to be in, though, and Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is well known around town. Whatever the request, I'd be glad to hear it. Yeah, if we were looking for Wangsheng Funeral Parlor's help, this is hardly the place we would come to. Ah, but you see, I wasn't referring to clients in the business sense. Everyone who enters this mortal realm will be a client of mine. Sooner or later. Well, that's dark. Wangsheng Funeral Parlor welcomes advanced reservations. When you choose us, you'll never have to worry about what might be around the corner. But be sure to book the right date. Pro tip, it is a living nightmare trying to get flowers at short notice. Speaking of dates, if you're struggling to decide, please do come and talk it over. I'd hate to see you still alive and kicking when your big day comes. Whoa! Slow down! That's... you... There's a lot to unpack here.
You'll have to excuse her. The director is a rather unique individual. Allow me to explain. We'd heard that there'd been some supernatural activity at Wuwang Hill. To restore calm here, we performed a funeral ceremony. It went very smoothly. According to the director, we shouldn't be expecting any more issues in the near future.
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, Wuwang Hill, funeral. What more is there to say? These three belong in the same sentence. You two, on the other hand, have no business coming to Wuwang Hill. You being here is not normal. Maybe your understanding of normal isn't quite normal. Adventure? You must hail from the Adventurers Guild. Then you are one of our distinguished clients. Wood, to be precise. Wood? What do you mean? That's just how we gauge our clients' importance. We have 4 levels: wicker, bamboo, wood, and marble. The higher the grade, the better we'd like to get to know you.
But I've just only heard of this.
Well, that's because I only just thought of it. Oh, don't look so shocked. Oh, take a look. Our adventurers spend the whole day scaling mountains, clearing domains, and smiting enemies. Danger and peril are their bread and butter. Clients like these deserve better treatment. Taking an interest in their daily lives will ultimately benefit not only them, but also me. Oh, touched a nerve, did I? I'd have thought any adventurers who dare come here would be used to conversations like this. Anyway, I have a favor to ask. Recently, Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has been trying to strike a business deal with the Adventurers Guild. With you acting as an intermediary, it would be so much easier. Let me think what I could offer you as a reward. Or perhaps there's a favor I could do in return? We're looking for someone. We've asked a lot of people, but nobody seems to have a clue where they are. This seems like something right up my alley. I can even inquire with the ones who no longer speak for you. You see? Helping me will be worth your while. Come on then, my able assistants. Let's get down to Liyue Harbor and do some business. When did we become your assistants? Longshun Funeral Parlor. The ones who no longer speak. Oh, did she mean talking to the dead?
Облом.
She's a weird... One?
Ugh, too salty.
За какой стол? Ну, тогда не сейчас, давай. Я не могу найти тот стол, о котором ты говоришь. А еще я бегу не в ту сторону.
over there. Paimon thinks so too. We've seen plenty of hilly churls before, and they're always the bad guys. But this is different. Uh-oh. This is right by the Wangshu Inn too. Oh, the guests are in great danger. Now that we've seen it, if we don't do anything about it, Paimon will feel really guilty. Let's go take care of them. Yeah! Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Animal hypostasis and you. These super evil hilly trolls are more difficult to defeat than the usual kind, too. Hey! Seems like people are gathering over there. Oh, wonder what they're doing. Whoa! See that guy in the mask? He scared off all the hilly trolls. Oh, you mean like Xiao? Now that you mention it, this guy's mask is kind of similar to the one that he wears. But the magic he was using seemed even more adeptacy than Xiao's. Shall we go say hi? Ahem. Hello. Allow us to introduce ourselves. This is...
Please, if you're here to thank me, there's no need. Cleansing the world of evil is the duty of the Adepti. Think nothing of it. One certainly doesn't. Wait, who are you? One had assumed you were followers, but on closer inspection it seems that we have not met.
My name's Paimon, and this is my sidekick.
One sees. One too shall introduce oneself, for it is good manners to comply. The one before you is the Adeptus, Master of Stars, though one is better known to one's followers as Star Snatcher. One descended from one's mountain abode to cleanse the world of evil, whereupon fate saw fit that our paths should cross. Now, tell me that which you wish for.
Our wishes? Paimon thought that the Adepti and Leela were just really good in battle. You mean you can grant people's wishes too?
There are different levels of Adepti. Are not the stars loftier than the mountains, clouds, and moon? Yet, it is unbecoming of an Adepti to boast of one's powers. One would have you first speak to one's followers, and only then make your verdict.
Have you seen the Master of Stars in action? His power truly hails from the divine. I believe that now, there is finally some hope for my ailing father. Watching him use his magic is all the proof you need. A true Adeptus, no doubt about it. Not long ago, I sought some medicine from him on behalf of my ailing father. The difference with Boo Boo Pharmacy's prescriptions was like night and day, I tell you. Once it was boiled and ready, it gave off this really ethereal mist. Seemed pretty adeptal to me. Could have also been because there was mistflower in it, though. Adepti medicine is surely the most potent. My father will recover soon, I just know it. Sure, you have to make some sacrifices if you seek help from an Adeptus like the Master of Stars. I had to give a few antiques as offerings. But my father's life is worth much more than a few old relics, right?
The Millilith don't really need to do shifts when the master... I'm a merchant, and I had an especially valuable batch of goods that needed transporting recently. So I asked the Master of Stars if he would make the journey with me, as presumptuous as that was. Reason being, monsters run a mile as soon as he so much as holds up his talisman. We didn't have the slightest bit of trouble the whole journey. It didn't come cheap, of course, but then soliciting the services of an adeptus is a monumental affair. Just look at the rite of dissension. So I can accept it, but I doubt that most from outside of Liyue would be willing to.
Finally, a life full of hope and purpose. Oh, are you believers too? After my fiancé up and left, I cried every day. But then I turned to the Master of Stars for help. At his suggestion, I started burning paintings of my fiancé and casting the ashes into the ocean at sunrise. I can't explain it, but it really worked. I know in my heart that he'll return. This is not some sort of positive thinking trick. I'm certain of it. I'm so overjoyed that I gave a portion of my wedding budget to the Master of Stars as an offering. After all, if not for him, I wouldn't be getting my fiancé back, in which case I wouldn't need it anyway.
What do you think? One's adherents may exaggerate a little, but they speak from the heart. Surely you jest. There was once a senior adeptus, Xie Wu Liang, known to the people as Liangzi. He said this: all things are connected. That which mortals call imagination is merely the bridge betwixt the spiritual and the material. In other words, their wishes are already on the path of transitioning into reality. Does this make things clearer?
Nope. It makes them way more complicated. But basically what you're saying is that their wishes can come true, right?
Indeed. You are perceptive, my diminutive friend.
Okay. So we also have one other question.
Oh? You need but ask.
Hey, isn't that a bit inappropriate?
Indeed. It would be inappropriate for one to remove one's mask. One wanders among mortals, doing good and cleansing evil. One reveals not one's visage to avoid further disturbance to this realm than is necessary.
Ah, got it.
Now then, what are your wishes? One senses that a tragic tale lies behind this wish. So be it. This wish is not beyond one's power to grant. But first, one must see some proof of your faith.
What's that supposed to mean?
The way of the Adepti cannot be grasped from words alone. One must seek the profound truths that lie beyond them. Should you fail to perceive one's hidden meaning, then regrettably, one may lend you no aid.
What do we do? Paimon doesn't understand him at all. Oh, that's right! Some of those believers mentioned that they had to pay a pretty sum for the Adeptus' help, didn't they? Well, Paimon's not forking over anymore, and we don't have anything valuable enough on us. You don't even have a vision. Hey, why don't we make him a tasty snack? No one can resist the temptation of good food, can they? Yep, a tasty snack is sure to work. Why don't we head over to Wanwen Bookhouse and see if they got any new recipes in? That's Ganyu! We finally found her! Ganyu, here you are!
You two. I did not expect to meet you here. Is it official or private affairs that bring you here? I shouldn't. I have left the human world. Please contact the Yua High Pavilion regarding matters concerning the commercial port.
Huh? You don't want to be the Qixing secretary anymore? But they're all waiting for you to come back!
That's why you're here? You want me to come back? I'm afraid you came here in vain.
What? Did something happen?
The clouds fold and unfold. The tide ebbs and flows. It was meant to be. When the Adepti entrusted humans with overseeing Liyue, I knew it was only a matter of time until I had to leave. My Adepti blood makes me unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. I delivered the letter and came back to Liyue Harbor, only to discover that I had been replaced by Baiwen, Baishao, and Baishe. Perhaps that mission of mine was just a pretext to remove me. Since the Qixing gave me a chance to leave with dignity, I decided to be tactful as well. I appreciate your kindness, but there's no need for your words of comfort. After 1,000 years away, I came back to Juyun Karst. Looking at the clouds floating among the mountains brings me peace of mind. I feel better now.
But...
Who disturbs the peace of these mountains?
Cloud Retainer, we're terribly sorry. We just...
One merely jests. One felt your presence the moment you set foot upon this land.
Wow, you Adepti really are impressive.
Come here to chat about the old times with Ganyu. It looks like you get along quite well. A matter leaves you at an impasse then. Not to worry. One is exceptional at seeking avenues for conversation. One has been one's own companion in idle talk for many a year. Yes. Since you are Ganyu's friends, tales from her youth shall one apprise you of, perhaps?
Oh, Cloud Retainer.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You were so cute as a child. One is most certain that your friends would like to hear of it.
Oh, Paimon wants to hear it!
Little Ganyu loved when the horns on the top of her head were caressed. When one was still taking care of her, one was pestered most often to touch her horns. She was elsewise loath to sleep.
Wow.
Plump she was back then. Why, when she stumbled while we ascended the mountain, she would roll down to the bottom like a little ball. The day Ganyu bumped into a pilgrim was the first time she saw a real human in the flesh. So fearful she was that she hid in a rock's cleft for 2 days and nights. One found her wailing of a monster she had seen.
Cloud Retainer? Forget it. It's about time for my training. I will take my leave.
One's intention was merely to relieve the awkward tension.
And you did the exact opposite. Impressive.
Be that so? But returning to Ganyu, most gladdened one is of your arrival. One cannot help but feel that remaining in Juyun Karst shall not be good for her. One will tell you more about her, if you should permit it. Most benevolent among all Adepti are the Qilin. They drink only spring water and eat only whole grain. But perhaps the mountainous dwellings of Adepti in Juyun Karst might be too lonely for her human side. Under moonlight did one see her last. She stood by the precipice's edge, and upon the mist-veiled mountains she gazed. Her thin figure was immersed in the vast sea of clouds. One noticed her loneliness, and sought to convince her to go back to the human world. But just then, she said thus.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Jueyun Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Jueyun Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer. When I step into the sea of people in Liyue, I feel the loneliness of an inhuman that doesn't belong in the human world.
One did, by chance, hear this much of Gань Yu's thoughts. Alone, she will find her predicament hard to conquer. One hopes that you will accompany her.
Oh, Retainer's right. We can't leave Gань Yu depressed like that. Besides, Liyue hasn't given up on her. She's got it all wrong. Anyways, what's that training Gань Yu was talking about?
She has sought to reclaim her Adeptus side since returning to Jueyun Karst. At her behest, one has organized training for her to achieve that end.
She should be in the southern part of Mount Aotsong right now, preparing for the trial.
Huh, is that so? Let's go take a look then! Gань Yu?
Why did you come here? Is that so? You really are interested in the ways of Adepti. This trial was prepared by Cloud Retainer. Its goal is to help me feel like an Adeptus again. The training is much to her signature style. I hope it won't make it seem like she is too unaware of the abilities of others.
Is it difficult?
No, I'm aware of your strength, Traveler. The power hidden within you is not inferior to mine. If you're ready, we shall begin the training.
Чего? Да я не умею стрелять, вы чего? А дальше что? А как? Да как? Я не понимаю. Это сложно.
If you could see through the eyes of an adeptus, you wouldn't be so surprised.
Я не успею, какой кошмар. Это же надо будет опять переигрывать.
We've completed the task. What do you think? Hardships are a fact of life, both for the Adepti and humans alike.
Ganyu, what were you planning to do once your training was over?
The training's not over yet. The part prepared by Cloud Retainer is only the first trial.
Huh? So there are more trials prepared by other Adepti?
No. The only Adeptus who can unlock my true potential is...
Who is it?
Conqueror of Demons.
Huh. So it's Xiao. That cold-hearted loner? How come he's prepared a trial for you?
I found him unapproachable at first too. But I believe that being able to face him is an important part of my homecoming. He's already waiting for me. Come along if you're interested.
Of course we are! Let's go!
You're half an hour late. I see you still haven't abandoned the wrongful ways of humankind.
I'm sorry. I had a meeting with Cloud Retainer. I
don't need your explanations and don't require any mutual understanding between us. I'm just helping you with your training. That's all.
Xiao is such a strict teacher.
You're neither an Adeptus nor a human, always treading the line between the two worlds. It must create a lot of confusion. Instead of explaining yourself to me, you should face your true self.
I have nothing to hide.
The body and the mind are one. If something worries your mind, your body can help you find a solution. The trial I've prepared for you will explore the true potential of your body.
Yes. I'm ready.
The trial's begun! Paimon can feel it in the air. Even the weather's changed. thunder and lightning.
Born of ice and frost. For Rex Lapis. Access denied. No touching. Absorption test. Born of ice and frost. This is long overdue. Access denied. No touching. We're way behind. Born of ice and frost. Next on the... No touching. Blaze over. Born of ice and frost.
Nowhere to hide. Breath of the flame. Boom boom.
Didn't see that coming.
Swirl. Mark 2. Incinerate. Phew. Huh. Ugh.
Access denied. No touching. We're way behind schedule. All hail. Born of ice and frost. No touching. Healthy body, healthy mind. This is long overdue. Born of ice and frost.
Cut to the chase.
No touching. We're way behind schedule. Born of ice and frost. All hail. We're way behind. Access denied.
Speed of light.
I've completed your trial.
You don't have to report back to me. Seeking other people's validation won't benefit your training. Only you can evaluate the result of this trial. You'll progress faster that way.
Understood.
Xiao always has such strong opinions.
From tomorrow on, I'll start raising the difficulty of your training, so you'll have to...
Have to do what?
Another one of those pesky visitors. I'll leave him to you, Gany Юй. It's also a part of your training.
Pesky visitor? So even here there are those that Xiao can't deal with?
Oh heavens! Blessed be Rex Lapis! I've finally come upon the Adepti! Are all of you the Adepti of this mountain? Great! My name's Sinjung. I came to ask for your merciful blessings, O Adepti. I beg of you, please grant me luck, wealth, and a good career.
Как-то много за один раз ты попросил.
I am also one of the Adepti. You can say that I'm an Adeptus in training.
Perfect. I didn't come in vain then. Although you sound a bit half-hearted. Doesn't matter. What blessings can you grant me?
Wow, straight to the point, huh?
Dear Pilgrim, you shouldn't jump to conclusions. Adepti don't help every pilgrim for free.
For free? Do you mean that you charge people for the blessings of the Adepti?
That's not what I meant. What I'm trying to say is that everything should be earned through hard work and earnest living. It would be unfair to other people if you got everything you wanted for no reason.
Hold on. I've heard this all before. You're just like my old man, always nagging me.
Your father must have experienced it firsthand. The lives of the common folk are riddled with hardships, but are also full of joy. A person of your age should focus on work and family, instead of chasing after fairy tales.
Are you a real Adeptus? Why do you speak and behave like us city folk? You sure you're not one of those swindlers who pose as an Adeptus to cheat people out of their money? Ugh, how dare you reprove me? I bet you came here looking for the Adepti yourself.
He might sorta have a point. We did come here looking for Gань Юй after all.
Enough. Doesn't matter if you're a real Adeptus or not. You're useless. I'm leaving.
Nobody's stopping you. Gань Юй, don't let that guy ruin your mood.
It's not his behavior. The things he said, he was right. I thought that coming back to Jueyun Karst and devoting myself to training would make me feel like an Adeptus again. But being questioned by him made me realize that But I'm unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. As an Adeptus,
It's true! Just believe us!
Alright. I'll go with you to Liyue Harbor. That said, I still trust my initial judgment. If I'm proven right, I'll return to Jueyun Karst once again.
It's a step in the right direction. Let's go!
I'm still...
Come on, Gань Юй! We're almost there! You don't want to turn back now, do you?
I suppose you have a point. It would be quite impolite of me to leave the two of you now.
That's right! Where do you want to go first, then?
I've spent too much time in the mountains. The first thing that comes to my mind is the sea. Let's go for a walk in the port.
Happy to come with.
Серьезно? Чего сегодня за день такой? Вы чего все заняты? Ой, а как до тут добраться? Ну как-то же я добиралась. Вот он! Стоит. Дядюшка. Тянь. Который не хочет продолжать мое задание.
Come with me.
Молодец. С Чжун Ли? Ой, застряла. Ой, куда провалилась-то? Ой. Кто привел? Сама приплыла.
Oh? I didn't think I would see you here.
Are these two your friends?
Yes, we had the fortune of meeting not too long ago. They are quite a knowledgeable and talented pair, and a pleasure to be around. Traveler, we were just discussing the history of Rex Lapis. Would you like to listen?
This, good sir, seems not to appreciate the almighty power of the Lord of Geo. As a professional archaeologist, I'm inclined to correct some of his erroneous views. We are discussing the whereabouts of the first Mora.
The first Mora?
As everyone knows, the Lord of Geo taught the ancient people of Liyue the craft of smelting, creating goods that allowed them to develop trade with the early nations of that time. Today, Liyue holds the sole right to cast Mora in the entire continent of Teyvat. The world's very first Mora should have been cast by the hands of the Lord of Geo himself thousands of years ago.
According to my research, as well as my own hypothesis, I believe that this coin of unique historical significance has been passed down secretly through the years as a kind of token. For example, perhaps the Qixing who control the Liyue use it in some kind of unknown ceremony they hold when they come to power.
No, no, no. My research indicates that the first Mora coin is not such a simple thing. Mora is a catalyst. This we all know. Even today, Mora is used in the mystic arts for its curious properties of weapon enhancement. The world's first Mora would no doubt possess the strongest power. My next historical treatise will boldly expound on the newest findings from my intense decade-long research. That is, that the Lord of Geo used this original Mora as a catalyst to enhance a dagger and a sword.
A dagger and a sword?
Well, buy the book when it comes out to read the full story. For now, I will only reveal this. The one who finds the dagger shall become supreme in Liyue, and the one who finds the sword may be crowned Liyue's sovereign.
I can't say I agree. Let us not speak of the authenticity of the dagger and sword first. But Mora and money came about simply because they are a convenient measure of a contract's value. Rex Lapis just meant for Mora to serve as a catalyst for people to exchange and trade. The world's first Mora is probably just an ordinary coin created by Rex Lapis. As for its fate, the same as all Mora, I suspect. It was simply spent somewhere.
I think that Mr. Hanshua's hypothesis seems reasonable. Mr. Zhongli's argument, on the other hand, lacks any evidence. How can you so easily dismiss the Lord of Geo's profound foresight?
No, I am not debating right or wrong. I am simply stating a fact.
Enough! Do you think you understand the Lord of Geo more than me?
I know but little about history, and I wouldn't dare to brag. But discussion is meaningless if everyone has the same opinion, no?
Well then, answer me this. Long ago, when Liyue Harbor was being constructed, the Lord of Geo taught the people how to build houses. The model home he used to teach them was completely cast from Mora, correct?
That is correct, indeed.
Okay, then tell me. Why would the Lord of Geo do something so extravagant, if not because of the mystical power that Mora contains?
There's a simple explanation, really. To the god of wealth and commerce, what material is easier to get than Mora? I mean, I am talking about Rex Lapis.
Excuse me, sir. I have some questions about archaeology. Can we find somewhere quiet to chat? I mean, if it's okay with you.
Oh, it's no problem at all. But may my friend accompany us? Perhaps they could be of some help.
Of course. They can come if that's what pleases you, sir. Let's go. What I'm about to say is a bit disrespectful of the Lord of Geo and would draw a lot of angry looks. So it's best to discuss this somewhere quiet. Your argument just now exhibited acuteness of speech and thought. Most importantly, you don't fall for the boasting and acting of the others. You remain objective.
So I have a question for you. Perhaps you will answer differently from other scholars. Do you think that all the gods that the Geo Archon killed were evil?
Let's not analyze it in terms of good versus evil. Rex Lapis placed great importance on the integrity of contracts. So any gods he killed certainly must have broken some kind of contract.
Right! The Lord of Geo wouldn't kill the innocent.
But when I was doing some research, I learned about the legend of the god of salt. The god of salt, Havria, was a very kind god, but she encountered Morax one day in battle. Morax used a rather underhanded trick to assassinate her.
What? No way!
This bit of history is a long story. But you may not like the truth when you hear it.
Don't worry, please tell me what you know. This event, I've already searched for answers for a long time.
Quite so. I don't know where to begin.
Over here, Mr. Zhong Li. I've been looking for you. So you're over here all this time.
Put down your weapon and stay back. Otherwise, Paimon's reporting you to the Millilith.
First of all, I'm not holding a weapon. There's no need to overreact now. I'm simply an archaeological researcher from Snezhnaya. I'm not here for trouble.
The Fatui say that every time.
But this time, I registered with the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs. I could show you the official documentation if you want to see it. I will be conducting an archaeological survey here, the results of which will all be shared with the ministry. I heard that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor had a consultant named Zhong Li, with immense knowledge of ancient history and archaeology. So I paid Wangsheng Funeral Parlor a handsome amount to hire Zhong Li as my own consultant while I'm in town.
So you mean to say that this is work for the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, yes? Well, since it's work, I don't have a choice. A consultant of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor must respect their duty.
Of course you would be such a reasonable man. Well then, let's head out now, shall we?
Wait, if you are studying archaeology, can I go too? I am also a scholar in this field, so I can help.
That will give us a chance to continue the topic we were just discussing. Oh, and you should tag along too. This experience may be of help to you on your future adventures. It is a story from before the rise of the Seven. Although the god of salt has already perished, it will still be a meaningful experience for your journey.
Wait. This is an archaeological expedition, not a tour group. That's too many people.
But this friend of mine has a treasure-finding talent, surpassed by no one. It will surely be of great help to us.
Oh? What talent?
If my friend espies a treasure chest, they will absolutely find a way to open it.
Hey, Paimon's good at that too!
Well, that is quite enticing. All right then. Well, let's go. There's no time to waste. When the Overlord of the Vortex was crushed by the Jade Chamber recently, perhaps something of interest was washed ashore. An ancient artifact would be good. Traces of ancient activity would be great. But a piece of the god's limb would be even better. Who knows what surprises we may find.
Life is short, so eat, drink, and be merry.
А здесь что тебе мешает? Крыша?
This had better be important.
The wind rises. Behold!
Life is short, so eat, drink, and be merry.
Huh. You even want this?
The wind rises. This place looks so ordinary. Can we really find anything valuable here?
Huh? Paimon thinks it looks really grand.
I don't mean the scenery, but rather that there should be something out of the ordinary. A big battle did just occur and all, and I don't even know where to begin looking here.
Guyun Stone Forest is actually the perfect place to be, if you wish to learn about the gods or the history of the Archon War. Legend has it that Rex Lapis threw spears made of large rock into the sea here, piercing and crushing the overlord of the vortex. After many years of wind erosion, those stone spears have turned into the unique rock formations we see now.
These mountains were the Lord of Geo's weapons?
What we see now is just the part of them that remains. The stone spears hurled by Rex Lapis all those years ago were much greater, both in number and in size. But due to the different angles they landed at, their large centers of mass, erosion by seawater, and years of gravity, many of them have been completely swallowed by the sea. So besides wind erosion, the initial collapsing of the stone spears also played a big part in the formation of Guyun Stone Forest.
Well, a god able to fight one so powerful as Rex Lapis was certainly very strong in its own right.
Indeed. This is where the value lies in research at Guyun Stone Forest. Most of the objects from that time were lost to the sea. But the gigantic waves created by the overlord of the vortex have given those sunken objects a chance to see the light of day again.
So you're saying that if we look carefully, we'll be able to get very, very rich. I mean, rich with archaeological knowledge and historical value, yes? That's all I seek in life. Well, since we brought so many people, I think it would be best to split up and look.
Okay then. I will go with my friend here. Although I have a smattering of knowledge in various disciplines, when it comes to archaeology, I can't compete with the expert here.
Huh? Me?
What's the matter? This is your profession. Why are you so surprised?
I get it. I'll escort him then.
Okay. If we find anything valuable or rare, let's meet on the shore opposite from here. The ancient god probably left behind lots of elemental marks. Following them should make our search much easier.
Well, go ahead then. Use your elemental sight to look for any marks.
Leave it all to me. Have a good night, Chжun. I must leave no stone unturned.
Time for your arraignment!
Squall Fury!
Leave it all to me.
The wind rises.
Steady as stone.
Boom! Incinerate!
Behold!
Why are there enemies here?
Guyan Stone Forest is a place where a god was defeated, and its remnants still affect the area to this day.
You're dead! That's far enough! Nothing worth mentioning.
They're gathering together here. But why?
See that object in the center? Perhaps it emits the remnant strength of the god. That would certainly attract them. The hydromimic monsters. I have a contract and must put my personal feelings aside. Go ahead. Defeat them and recover the relic.
Boom! Inadmissible evidence!
Cry louder!
I must leave no stone unturned. Time to clean up. Someone needs...
Motion to compel!
It's just a stone slab, but its design is quite unique. This should be enough to garner some information.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Let's head back.
You call yourself a scholar of archaeology? You can't even recognize this or that. What are you good for?
We all have our areas of expertise. I already tried very hard to explain.
Oh, stop arguing! What in the world happened?
This girl just keeps bragging about how she's an archaeologist, but she doesn't even know anything about the surrounding ruins. I even know more than her. She left me to rely solely on guessing, experience, to find anything valuable to take back. Ugh, what a waste of time.
I've just been researching the God of Salt, so I'm not familiar with sea relics. Is that so strange? And you kept asking about how much Mora everything is worth. Can the value of relics only be measured in Mora?
Isn't measuring their value in Mora the easiest way? This also matches the traditions of Liyue, does it not?
Now, calm down. No need to make a fuss. We were able to bring back some intriguing objects. Let's have a look. Oh, what a shame. These objects were indeed washed ashore by the Overlord of the Vortex, but they have nothing to do with the god besides being in the vicinity at the time. The stone slab we found, however, has a mysterious pattern and faint aura of divine power. Perhaps it will be useful for research purposes.
Quick, give it to me! At least we didn't come for nothing. The power of the gods, yes! This is good. Oh, but these other objects are certainly worth a little something, right? It should be enough to cover the cost of hiring you. It's all mine.
So, it's only valuable for research if there are remnants of divine power on it?
Not at all. My quest to uncover the history of the God of Salt is because history can tell us about culture and beliefs. But you're just trying to use archaeology to get rich.
Nonsense! I'm a professional archaeology researcher from Snezhnaya. I swear, if I'm lying, may the Lord of Geo strike me down.
Oh, by the way, you probably don't want to sell that teacup.
Oh? Why's that?
That's not an ancient teacup. It's part of Ningguang's collection. It must have fallen here along with the Jade Chamber. So unless you want to mess with the Qixing...
Ah, I see. What a shame. It was of such high quality, too.
See? You do want to sell these objects!
But, so what? Why can't I pursue wealth both intellectual and material? Don't be so simple-minded. All right, then. No need to stay here any longer. I'm rather quite intrigued by the God of Salt, too, actually. Let's go to Saltarai next. I heard that Saltarai was once the home of the God of Salt's people. Therefore, There's sure to be loads of valuable relics nearby.
According to legend, the people of the god of salt, Havria, enjoyed prosperous lives under her protection. But this legend has been around for ages. With the countless scrap collectors and treasure hoarders in the area, there probably aren't many valuable things left here.
Oh, good. That's just great. If I knew it was picked this clean before, I wouldn't have come.
About that, I know there's a ruin deep in this cave here. It's related to the god of salt, which is actually how the area originally got its name of Saltarai. However, the ruin entrance has been sealed by a mysterious power. Nobody has been able to break the seal. I found a mechanism that seemed to be related to the seal, but when I undid the mechanism, the seal wasn't affected at all. So at the moment, the seal's origin and how to break it are very important topics in my research on the god of salt. I don't know, there's no concrete evidence, but I'm pretty sure the seal is meant to hide some kind of long-forgotten truth. The god of salt was a benevolent god, adored by the people, not to mention powerful. She wouldn't have any kind of shameful secrets to hide. So, the one who wants to hide some truth is very possibly her killer, Morax.
This doesn't sound like something the Lord of Geo would do, though.
Who cares about all that? It sounds like countless treasures of the god of salt lie within this ruin, just waiting for someone to find them, right?
You weren't listening at all, were you? Ugh. Even if there's a mountain of treasures inside, nobody can get in if the seal isn't broken.
Ah, but we have the illustrious Mr. Chjun Li with us. He looks like he knows just about everything. A little seal shouldn't be any trouble for him.
This seal seems to be quite ancient. Even Mr. Chjun Li may not know all of its secrets.
I may know something about it.
What?
Over the years, I've heard various rumors with bits of knowledge about seals. Although their references seem rather disorderly, they do in fact contain the secret to breaking seals. Let's go take a look at the mechanism Miss Wanyan just mentioned.
Okay, since Mr. Chjun Li says so, follow me then. I'll catch up. Here it is. There's some debris scattered here that, when put together, look like they definitely had to do with the god of salt. According to the inscription on the side, if one looks from a certain angle, the secret to the mechanism will be revealed. See that? Although we activated the mechanism, nothing happened to the seal.
That's because there's actually another mechanism that must be activated.
Another?
Let me lead the way from here.
This place seems familiar. Huh, I remember. I think there's some elemental monuments here. So you're saying they're related to all this? When I investigated the seal last time, I had someone with a vision accompany me. But when we lit up all the elemental monuments, nothing happened.
That's because you don't just need to activate them at the same time, but in a certain order as well. Otherwise, the seal will not be broken. The secret to this puzzle is hidden in the legends about the Archon War. Tianheng in the south, Yaoguang in the east, Jueyun in the west, Qingce in the north. All desolate and devoid of life. Liyue is vast, yet even one haven is hard to find.
To the north, to the east. Do the people of Liyue always talk in riddles?
I think I've heard this saying before.
Certainly you have. And the contents of this saying are also related to the god of salt. To provide a haven for her people, whose lives had been ravaged by the Archon War, this benevolent god searched all across Liyue. At that time, with the chaotic fires of war engulfing the land, even one sliver of peace was a luxury. And that haven she eventually found is right here. Today, it is known as Sal Turai.
How sad then. In the end, this peaceful place was destroyed by Morax.
Okay, enough with these ancient stories. Now that we have the clue, hurry up and break the seal. Whatever happened doesn't matter as long as we can get inside that ruin.
Tianheng in the south, Yaoguang in the east, Jueyun in the west, Qingce in the north. With this clue, you should be able to solve the puzzle.
А где здесь запад, где здесь восток?
Speed of light. Don't blink. Speed of light.
Look! The seal really was broken! Mr. Zhang Li is indeed quite remarkable.
It was nothing, really. Now, it's time that people learn the hidden truth lost to time. Before entering the ruin, I have a proposal that will help us prevent the kind of senseless arguing between you two that we saw at Guyenstone Forest.
Okay. What is it?
I propose you two agree upon a contract, stipulating that we alternate who gets claim to each treasure we encounter, with only one object permitted per claim. To show my sincerity, I won't be taking any treasure. This will just be between you all.
Hey! Don't pass an opportunity like this up so easily!
I don't agree. I mean, you want me to split the treasure with this amateur archaeologist? No, absolutely not.
I don't agree either. He will only defile the precious relics left behind by the god of salt. I can't accept this.
Well then, if the contract is not agreed upon, I will no longer serve as your consultant on this expedition. You will have to rely on your own experience to find whatever treasures are hidden in this ruin, as well as traps.
You have the audacity to demand this! Okay then. Even half of the treasure in the long-sealed ruin of the God of Salt should be enough to make a fortune.
If you want me to agree upon this contract, So be it. I just have one request, Mr. Zhang Li. If we discover the truth behind the God of Salt, you must judge it fairly, even if the truth harms Morax's image.
I can accept this arrangement. Well then, let's go.
Чжун Ли! Ой, какая прелесть, какая прелесть.
Are these statues?
No. These are...
Ugh.
They were probably followers of the God of Salt.
How did they become this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this ruin?
Crumble!
Look at this! It's filled halfway with salt.
It just looks like a fancy salt holder. Seems like the God of Salt was a god lacking in treasures.
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full. That is to say, it is bottomless.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The God of Salt is powerful indeed.
Finally, after all that effort, I've found precious treasure. I claim this as mine. I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it and make a fortune.
Hey, how can you use a relic of the God of Salt for such a shallow pursuit?
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan, according to the contract agreed upon.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare find?
Since we have a contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
Stabilize! I will have order. Crumble! Solidify!
Just a simple ruler. It doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measuring tool.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with another power. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is essentially a bumper harvest of salt.
What? That's even better than the salt chalice!
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick? And this girl has been useless! Why would she get anything?
Oh boy, here we go again.
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you. Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, "Ones who break their contracts shall suffer the wrath of the rock."
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from Snezhnaya. I
will suffer the wrath of the rock. You may find it rather unpleasant.
Pay your dues. Stabilize. Prepare yourself. Quake.
Ты.
Rise.
Вот тебе гнев камня, пожалуйста. Ты где? Да где ты? Я не потеряла.
Quake. Crumble. Can't run from death.
I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin. Leave this place.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Some archaeological survey. He could only pretend for so long. Yeah, good thing Paimon can smell a liar from a mile away.
Clement's wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides greed, there are many other things that may tempt us to break contracts. When people see the object of their dreams, how many are really able to control their desire and follow the contract? I think we should be honest with each other now.
Huh? Be honest about what?
That in truth, not a single member of this archaeological expedition came here for archaeology.
Why do you say that?
Miss, you lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize naught but a few simple relics. However, you are an expert when it comes to anything regarding the god of salt. You aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really interested in is the god of salt. I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between generations at Yinyuan Hall.
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. I seem to have been right to seek you out once I plucked up my courage. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the Qixing, Yinyuan Hall of the salt industry. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos.
Oh, right! Now that you mention it, the people of Liyue very seldom use the name Morax.
During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He left us alone and lost in the world. We hate him! But this is Morax's Liyue after all. And its history is written as he wishes. So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty in his heart! We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhang Li? You must judge this history fairly.
Naturally, of course. But I must add, Liyue is no longer Morax's Liyue. Come with me. All the answers you seek lie ahead.
I will have order.
Solidify! Rise! Quake! This is order. Rise! Quake! Stabilize! Crumble!
I will have order.
Quake! Rise! Crumble! Rise!
This is a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the god of salt had to fight back against the evil Morax. But sadly, she was defeated. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the God of Salt.
It does look like something left behind after being defeated in battle.
2 pieces of a broken sword. From an archaeological perspective, these are 2 separate relics. According to the contract, you can only claim 1.
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Clement is no longer here.
Yes, but the only 1 object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take 2 relics at the same time.
This logic!
Zhang Li, she seems like a good person, and no one is fighting over the treasure. How about you let this one slide, huh?
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed, then it is broken.
No! If I only take 1/2, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the God of Salt cannot be restored. No matter what, I must be faithful to her. Even if it breaks the contract, I don't care.
So you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay for breaking the contract.
Zhang Li!
That is to say, you consign yourself to suffer the wrath of the rock.
That's okay. The God of Salt gave up her life to protect her people. My sacrifice is nothing compared to that. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
No, you can't hit her!
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her, but as punishment, I will tell you the truth.
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth is my punishment?
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell you shall be your price to pay for breaking the contract. I'm afraid to say that the God of Salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the 7.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Tevat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven remained.
No! It can't be so.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade? Then... this sword...
This sword is not a relic belonging to the God of Salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to test my faith in the God of Salt.
As I said before, I only state the facts.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax! Don't try to trick me!
Hey! Come back!
It is a punishment after all. I did not want to tell her such cruel facts, but the contract was broken. Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, I fear, we will find something that will leave her no choice but to face the truth.
Are these statue thingies running? What will we find ahead?
Salt. And betrayal.
What are all these? What did they see? What did they do? What happened?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all that happened back then. This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time to this very day. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind, but weak god could never protect anyone in wartime. The Archon War was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat, they thought perhaps it would be better to give her a quick release.
But what about these statue thingies?
No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Those who could not flee were thus transformed. Those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue, where they sought refuge with Rex Lapis. Their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived in terror that she had laid upon them an eternal curse. So they risked their lives to come here, to break the sword, and offer up obeisances in hopes that her anger might be appeased. But they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted, even till the end, nurse hatred for her people in her heart?
Even if this is so, I can't! This must be a lie. A false history, all of it! Don't you dare try to shake my faith!
Yikes. Zhong Li didn't show any mercy this time either.
This is the price she must pay. Yet I would not call it a bad thing. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. But even if she may not escape that struggle immediately, simply recognizing the truth is good enough for now. Indeed, in ages past, Havria's story served as a warning to me as well. Faith in a god who has already passed will do you no good. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax also. All right then. Now, would you like to accompany me in taking a trip to Guyan Stone Forest?
Huh? What do you want to do, Zhong Li?
Treading old ground, telling old stories. One cannot help but be reminded of old acquaintances. Now, I mentioned before that many gods of old have been sealed beneath the Guyan stone forest. The Adepti have presently handed Liyue over to mortals, and Havria's time was even further in the past. The Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler that she left behind should not return to Liyue. To leave them here is to let them slumber. And it is also a homecoming. I ended an era with my own two hands. I've always wondered how I should remember that which I ended. History records, but history may be changed. This incident proved that. Time is a mighty force, and history's twist in its flow. I need to find a better way of recording history in order to engrave its truth. Stone carvings were one such ancient method, but unchanging stone, immovable earth, even one such as myself. Someday we may all disappear.
Chžun Li.
Therefore, I thought of you, traveler. You are one who crosses the celestial atlas, and who passes through countless worlds. If our history is engraved in your memory, it will one day accompany you into another world. As long as a traveler like you is able to record what happened, then a backup of sorts will exist for times and tides of Teyvat. Well, may you find treasure among the stars, even after you have left Teyvat. Now, I am the god of wealth, so I would think that my words have some weight here. Now then, it is time that we consigned both the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler to the sea.
Huh? Why do we need to throw them into the sea?
As I said before, this is the place to which the remnants of many bygone gods are consigned. This includes Osial, Overlord of the Vortex, who the Jade Chamber most recently returned to this ocean prison. Thousands of years ago, the Adepti and I fought against the turmoil that plagued every corner of this land. Guyan Stone Forest, where I sealed many gods with my spears. After so long, naught but folktales remain. Osial, you and I were foes, but our ancient grudge is but a bygone memory now. May that which Havria has left behind be yours to subsume. And thus another spark of divinity departs from Liyue. My legacy shall now be left to those who come after to debate.
Leave it to me. All of it. Whatever it is. excuse us. We come bearing news of a matter requiring your assistance. It's all in this letter.
A letter? Oh, I see. This again. Oh, don't mind me. I was just speculating. Let me give this a read.
Can we actually read this thing? Is it even written in the common tongue?
Yes, the script is inimitable by the uninitiated. Honored guests, you must both be wary from your long journey. Please allow the Feiyun Commerce Guild to be your host for tonight. Please rest assured that the matter written about has been duly received. We just need some time to prepare. Please take a seat here in Leo Li Pavilion, where you may enjoy some light refreshments while taking in the ocean view.
Дяденька, это случайно не вы там благословение адептов приходили просить?
Tasty snacks! They're giving us the VIP treatment.
Of course. We treat visitors with the utmost respect here at the Feiyun Commerce Guild. When honored guests grace us with their presence, far be it from us to shirk our duty to them. Please, this way.
And Paimon thought we'd get kicked out, or turned away at the door. Paimon didn't think Guhua Geek had so much clout.
Thank you for your patience. With the amount of wealth and power Gentry Moutsai has, it will take more than a slap on the wrist to get through to him. For him to correct the error of his ways, he must feel for himself the same suffering he has inflicted on Chang the Ninth. Since Gentry Moutsai's business has to do with core lapis, we simply need to buy up all the stock there is in Liyue. That will put him in a rather sticky situation. Deprived of the necessary raw materials, even the best craftsperson in Tevat would be unable to make their product.
Great idea! That'll be sure to mess things up between him and the Fatui. But Liyue is huge. Is it really possible to buy up every last bit of core lapis in the harbor?
With the timescale we are on, it is indeed a challenge. Hence, as stated in the letter, we must ask for your further cooperation in the matter. First, there are a number of vendors in the city you will need to buy from. I've marked their respective locations on your map. There is also some unsold core lapis at the chasm. You will need to purchase that too. Finally, there is Chang the Ninth's batch.
Alrighty, so 3 sellers in the city, another one at the chasm, and then Chang the Ninth. Roger that!
Of course, we are not expecting you to cover the costs.
Wow, so many mora! With cash like this, Paimon could rent out Lioli Pavilion and eat there for a whole month!
Well, this is not the first time we've had to do something like this. It's just par for the course now. All you need to do is strike a deal. The Feiyun Commerce Guild will handle the transportation and other trifling matters. Once you have purchased all the core lapis, please proceed to the Feiyun Commerce Guild's warehouse, where you can see the rest of the plan unfold.
Gotta hand it to Guhua Geek. This is some seriously solid work for a guy who lives in a fantasy world. Let's do this in the order the guy said. First the sellers in the city, then the...
Enjoy your meal. shit on you.
А как купить-то? Я забыла. Я забываю, что магазинчик-то внизу.
Oi! Shh! All of it would be far more than if it's for.
Why'd they have to give me that transfer?
Hi, and you want? Well, that's sad. Don't worry about. Thank you for your.
Traveler, please, over here. It has been a while since you joined the Adventurers Guild. Are your adventures going smoothly? Is that so? Apart from your own skills, reliable teammates are also indispensable when adventuring. Another person to count on is always good after all. But recruiting such dependable companions is no easy matter, is it?
Yep, and it's even harder to get a guide as good as Paimon.
Ah, yes. I do have some information that may be of help to you. Let me consult our records. Ah, there it is. There's been a certain blonde stranger who arrived in Mondstadt lately, dressed in most unusual clothes.
Blonde. Dress is all funny. It feels like Paimon's heard this one before. Wait, do you mean... Does that stranger's face look anything like hers?
Like the honorary knights? No, they couldn't look more different. This stranger is a very tall man, and even has an eye patch.
Seriously? How does this this have anything to do with Kaya? I just can't prove that you're related anyway.
That stranger declined the guild's invitation, so I can't say that I know anything about the relationship between him and Mr. Kaya. Nonetheless, you can look for him if you're interested. Perhaps he might accept your commission instead. After all, it is not uncommon for some adventurers to not want to be limited by the guild, but be happy to accept a fellow adventurer's requests. And should the stranger be a strong adventurer indeed, he would certainly be a big help on your journey. Please don't talk down on yourself like that. You are the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius, after all. Your deeds are the stuff of song for all the bards in the city, even now. Well, as to further news about him, you may want to ask Mr. Lawrence. He stands guard at the city gate, so he may know something about that stranger. I wish you every success, adventurer.
Honorary knight. Is something the matter? A stranger with an eye patch. Let me think. Oh yeah, I remember seeing someone like that. A blonde stranger dressed in unusual garb. He was wandering all over Mondstadt at first, which I found rather suspicious. So I decided to keep an eye on him for a while. I lost him pretty quickly. Still, I didn't think that this was such a huge matter that we needed our outrider to pursue him by air. As long as Master Jean is here, there's nothing to fear from some suspicious, unusual-looking person.
That might be true, but if it were up to Jean, she'd take this way more seriously.
That is true. But on the other hand, knowing that Master Jean may overreact to the situation is all the more reason to not tell her, no? Anyways, oh yeah, he was at Wagner's smithy for a while before I tried tailing him. He might have said something to Wagner. You should go ask him. Maybe he has more news about our stranger.
What? You need something? Here, I remember him. He showed up a few days ago asking to buy a bunch of forging materials. Can't say I've heard of any of the materials he mentioned, though. He then had a look at the weapons in my shop before leaving. I've heard that he can be found drinking at the Angel's Share. If the Knights of the Guild want to get hold of him, that's the only place to be.
The Angel's Share? Well, Master Diluc probably has his eye on that stranger too, then. Anyway, let's go to the Angel's Share and have a look.
Мы сегодня навещаем всех мужчин Геншина, который мне очень нравится. Так, что ли, получается? После долгого отсутствия всех навещаем, узнаем, как у них дела.
What will it be? Grape juice or apple cider?
Hey, Charles! Have you seen a blonde stranger who wears an eye patch around here by any chance?
That I have. He comes here every night. Just a drink, though. Doesn't order anything else. He even sometimes mixes his own drinks after he orders them. I don't know anything else about him, but from his selections and mixes, I'd say that he's quite the connoisseur.
And what's Master Diluc's opinion?
Why, I just gave it to you. Quite the connoisseur.
Я хотела Дилюка встретить вообще-то.
Guess that's Diluc for you.
If you're looking for that gentleman, he ordered some new bottle of wine in advance yesterday. So he should be here today, too. There's too many raucous patrons on the first floor, so if you want to wait, best to go to the second. Ah, welcome, sir. The wine that you previously ordered is here.
He's really here? Let's go downstairs and have a look.
Can't give up. Even if you are a close friend.
Wow, he's got no intention of paying us any mind, huh?
A traveler, you say? Why are you traveling? Well, that's as good a reason as any. Sit down over there, then.
So, guess we've broken the ice. What a weird guy.
That little one beside you.
Uh-huh, we're the best of friends.
It's indeed a good thing to have someone accompany you on your travels. My name's Dainsleif. I suppose you have some business with me? Sure.
And he was so cold just a moment before. Paimon's got a bad feeling about this.
But I will require advance payment. $500 mora, and 3 answered questions. The 500 is a one-time fee, and we'll settle the questions in a moment. That's it.
Well, now Paimon's got a really bad feeling. That kind of compensation can't be right.
Ah, thank you. Now, as for my questions, I'd like you to answer them here and now. The answer to a question says nothing about right and wrong, only about differences in attitude. I only wish to know what your choices are. You need only answer. Question 1. The crisis Mondstadt faced was resolved by an alliance between yourself and that Animo Archon who calls himself Venti. Who, in your view, was the key to ending that crisis? I know everything that I should. Well, answer the question. Is that your answer? I see. Question number 2. Rex Lapis, who has defended Liyue Harbor for millennia on end, used his gnosis to lay down a contract to end all contracts, of which the stipulations are still unknown. Who do you think will defend Liyue Harbor in the future, now that they've lost their deity? So that's your answer? I see. Now for my final question. This world has people who gained visions, and those who did not. Which of the two do you think hold more importance in the eyes of the gods? So, this is your answer then? I understand. It seems that you're different from him. I'll take that 500 mora. And now I also understand your views on this world. As we agreed, you may now commission me. That said, I only take commissions related to the Abyss Order. Like you, I am currently on a journey. You intend to find your sibling, while I wish to oppose the Abyss. Ugh. Those creatures that serve the Abyss are the fangs and claws by which the Order spreads chaos in this world. I have come to Mondstadt this time while on the trail of an Abyss Herald.
An Abyss Herald?
An even more twisted abyssal being. One that commands the Abyss Mages.
Oh, that's right! We've just been fighting against the Fatui and Liyue, who are human too! We haven't encountered the non-human Abyss Order at all!
There's some reason behind that, I'm afraid. It's possible that they may have been under orders to avoid your path.
Oh, that does sound pretty dangerous. Maybe they're looking for a better time to ambush us or something. Uh-huh! We're super-duper strong!
That manner, it's just like his. Well then, let's go see for ourselves, shall we? According to the leads I have on hand, the Abyss Order has re-infiltrated the Temple of the Falcon. Let's meet up at the temple. Perhaps your questions about the Abyss will be answered there. This abandoned temple does bear some marks of the Abyss. The Falcon of the West. Though it can soar in the wind, it ultimately does naught but hover under the light of the gods. Oh, it's nothing. Let's head inside.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
The scent of the Abyss is getting stronger. It's not far now.
Paimon wonders what the Abyss Heralds look like. Do they look something like the Abyss Mages?
Let's head further in first. If we do see that creature, that'll spare me the explanation either way.
Animal hypostasis emulation! Absorption test! Stand clear! As a dutiful maid would. Leave it all to me. Time for your arraignment. Absorption test. Stand clear.
Don't get frostbite. Dodge this.
Enhanced animal module 75. I must
stand unturned. Someone needs assistance. I'll catch up. Leave it all to me. Absorption test. Boom boom! Ja, ja. Ta, ha, ja. Ta, ha.
Freeze!
Time to clean up. Steady as stone. Incinerate! Invisible evidence! Leave it all to me. Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Motion to compel. Ja. Ha.
Dodge this!
Someone needs assistance. Steady as stone.
Cool it! Oh, so sorry. Freeze!
Leave it all to me. Boom boom! Animal test 6308. Animal hypostasis emulation.
Just a few abyss mages? Seems like that herald might have already left. The abyss. It is chaos, and it is also destruction. It is a morass of inconceivable madness that encroaches upon this world's very foundations. That is why even the Dragon of the East, a servant of a deity, was unable to resist its corrosive powers. And the creatures of the abyss desire nothing less than the overthrow of a world ruled by the Archons.
You seem to know a lot about the Abyss game.
Well, we do have some history. I suppose that's as far as chit-chat goes. We should head to Wolvendom. Judging by the traces I'm following, their next appearance may be within the territory of that old wolf. Perhaps we may find our Abyss Herald there.
him now. Think Dane's waiting for us up ahead? We should meet up with him quick, in case the wolves decide they don't like him.
Lord of Wolvendom, great Wolf King of the North, sharp of fang and keen of claw, and yet dwelling here only. No, nor does it know me. I only know these things because a previous traveling companion of mine once wanted to hear its story. All right, let's go see if that Abyss Herald has stopped by here.
Well, where do we begin? Are you standing here because of these strange bonfires, Dane?
Indeed. See that, floating above the flames? It's an abyssal spell. Knowing what I do of the Order's habits, they've probably left similar marks behind elsewhere. Let's have a look nearby.
And there's another one of those bonfire spells! Looks like the Abyss really has been a place! Where did these monsters pop out from? Let's clear them out, and quick!
I must leave no stone unturned. Motion to compel.
Cool it!
Breath of the flame! Incinerate! Boom!
Do you think that those monsters by the bonfire are under the Abyss Order's control? Looks kinda scary. Let's beat them up first.
Absorption test. As a good knight should.
This spark will be frozen in time.
Stand clear. Enhanced animal module 75%.
unturned.
Dodge this!
Animal test 6308.
Freeze! Don't get frostbite.
Steady as stone.
Cool it!
I must leave no stone unturned.
Absorption test. Animal test 6308. Whew, that's that. Let's go check out that bonfire. Looks like this bonfire's also got something to do with the abyss.
Have you finished searching? I searched around these parts and found some signs myself, but they were left behind by abyss mages, and there was no deeper abyssal power to them. It seems that even an abyss herald would not wish to make trouble with the Wolf King of the North. We should leave as well. If there's anything praiseworthy about that old wolf, it's his territorial nature.
But now we're out of leads. Are we going to have to give up?
No. There is one more place we can go. Let's get a move on then. I'll wait for you at Storm Terror's lair. I've heard about what happened to you during Mondstadt's crisis. When you came, this place was known as Storm Terror's lair. But I suppose that this place is more lair than Storm Terror at this point. In fact, if my memory serves, this ruin has had largely nothing to do with that dragon for a long time. The first time I laid eyes upon the ruins of old Mondstadt, the dragon of the East had yet to fall, much less come to nest in this place.
Huh? But Paimon remembers that Dvalin first got in trouble hundreds of years ago.
Don't think too much about it. Do you remember the light actuators that once sealed this ruin? If the Abyss Order is interested in this location, then they will not neglect those mechanisms. Let's go see what the situation is at those light actuators.
Look! There are lots of monsters gathered over there. Yikes! Stand clear. Absorption test. Breath of a flame. Motion to compel. Stand clear.
Dodge this!
Boom boom!
Leave it all to me. Time to clean up.
Oh, so sorry. Cool it.
Absorption test. Motion to compel. Swirl, Mark 2. Boom boom. Animal test 6308.
So in the end, we still couldn't find that Abyss Herald. Bummer.
I wouldn't call not having to gaze upon such a creature a shame exactly. Still, I do believe that you will come across one eventually.
No, you're right. If it's a really powerful monster, it would be best to go around it.
How good it would be if all perils one encounters in their journeys could simply be solved by going around them. Once upon a time, yes. I simply have experience from adventuring together with that traveling companion.
You know, Dane, you keep talking about that person this and that person that. Where are they now, anyway?
He no longer travels. I'm afraid that traveling can be too exhausting at times.
Oh, is that how it is? Well, why are you traveling alone then?
I still have some things left unfinished. Once they are done, I too will return home to rest.
Yep, and it's good to have a home to come back to, isn't it? We camp out a lot when we travel. Hey, once you find your sibling, we should find a place to stay too, shouldn't we? Mondstadt's Fisherman's Toast is pretty tasty, but Liyue's one-man restaurant is great too. Either way, we should settle down in a place where there's good food.
Home. Well, it won't be too late to think about where you stay once your journey reaches its end. While you're still traveling, you should...
Huh? What's familiar?
A familiar feeling, you say? It could be someone you know well, or perhaps a monster. Whichever it is, we should see it for ourselves, and thus see clearly. We can reach the top of that cliff from over there. Let's go.
Oh, Dane moves really fast, doesn't he? Let's use that wind current nearby to catch up.
Давайте на этом остановимся, а то мы уже затянули с нашими путешествиями сегодня. В следующий раз тогда уже продолжим с Дайнслейфом путешествовать. Кого-то встретим, видимо. Непонятно кого. Надеюсь, не монстр, с которым надо будет драться. Ну что ж. Так, а как бы традицию надо соблюдать, нет? Нет, не надо. Спасибо за просмотр. Пока.